Nice. Whenever everything loads. Damn, it's just not, it's still doing that same thing. Man, this Discord's gonna hate me. I'm gonna ping him again. It's been 4 pings in the past, like... God, man. I'm just been busy. Alright, everyone, I'm live. And then I come over here. Do this. So, pin it. Alright. Awesome, awesome. We are... Welcome in, welcome in. We are going to talk about tarot cards and just how to read them. I already go over a lot of the cards within like the 2 card pulls and stuff, but we're gonna kind of dive into like the imagery of the cards, some of the symbology in it, not like all the way in depth, but we're gonna talk about it to help get a better grasp and to see why the cards mean what they mean, just to see the full truth of of what these cards hold, and not just running off of the rational mind's viewpoint of it, or running off of what you already have on the physical, which is a story being told by an individual, and running with that definition of it. Because I mean, if you've ever heard the saying, a picture holds 1,000 words, right? That's literally what we're talking about with tarot. That's the book. It's a picture book. It has no words, but those pictures are symbols, and those symbols are your words that tell you what's making up that entire card, which people miss heavily. And if they do grasp it, it's on such of a like surface and shallow level that it actually doesn't like do much. You know what I mean? It doesn't add much detail. It's just there to convince and persuade in that sense of like, oh, it looks like the wands in the 8 of Wands are being thrown at them, but they're actually being rested on there because he's the one about to throw the sword that way. And then when the 7 of Swords to the 8 of Swords, and when the 8 of Swords is there, when all those wands are thrown, you can literally see the same stream of water that was on the 7th going on the 8th, going in a downward diagonal motion, saying it came from somewhere above down. Like, I mean, there it is right there. There's the 7. There's the 8. I don't know where the 7 is. I'm kind of just scrolling through. But like, that's what people are missing, is the fact that this is a book, and that there is an order of these cards actually, and it's not supposed to be. Well, the Rosicrucian Cross has a specific order for the tarot deck that it needs to be in as well. So if people are doing Rosicrucian Crosses, they need to have the deck in that specific order. I don't know that order just yet. We're still going over some of those like details and stuff. Me and my mentor are. But yeah, there it is. There's the 7. But yeah, see, it's the same stream. It's just at a different angle. It's really like you could see it like this and it'd be better, right? Like the symbology is there, everything's there with it. They're being put down in the same motion as the 7 is being pushed forward, is going from up to down. There's a lot. There's more to it than that to even clarify that as well. Like here, hold on. Let me pull it back out. I'll put it like the middle of the deck. I put them in the middle of the deck. Hold on, let me go find them again. Let me go find them again. Where did I put them? They just gone. Whatever. I can't find them. They're just gone. I'll find. Well, if it pops up later, it pops up later type shit. But we're just gonna shuffle, go through, whatever card comes up out top. We'll talk about it. Do deep dives on it. Talk about the symbology, and other things of that nature with it. So yeah, the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles, obviously, all Earth elements. Is the Earth element. The Ace of Pentacles is the divine hand, the hand of God, showing you the end goal, what you're looking for, which is why the Pentacle's there in the forefront, because it's showing you from the mind, which is why it's in a cloud. Anything in clouds represents as going into the mind. The divine's handing you something from the mind space. Clouds have water and air in it. There's a mix between feeling and thought that's producing this outcome, this cloud, to have something tangible outside of it, grow. Regardless, though, it's showing you what you're desiring, but it's also showing you the path that it takes you to get there. And if you look there in the back, that mountain there is that same mountain as the one in the tower, as well as in the what is it, the Hermit. Let me pull those cards out too real quick so I can kind of show you. Not only that, but it's in the Moon as well. There's a lot of cards that they connect to. All these cards really connect to each other because they tell the same thing, but just focusing on a different aspect of it. Still completing the twin individual, actualization, realization, but talking about the different aspects they kind of fall on both together. Where is the Tower and where is the Hermit? And I will get them for you. It's also kind of symbolic of the Eight of Cups as well, so I'll pull that one out. Where the fuck is it? Where'd the Hermit go? There you are. Anyway, so here is your little path, right? You're walking down the path through there. It resonates with Temperance, like it's so many cards because it's the same path. I think it's in the what is it? The Ace of Wands. I think it is the Ace of Wands that shows. Yeah, it is the Ace of Wands that shows you. Yeah, there you go. Here, we're gonna put some of the story together for you, so you can kind of get there and get there. But this, the Ace of Wands with that castle back there, right? This is that path to there. You know where you're going. The idea is showing you that you're going down that path, right? That's not the exact order, but just with these cards together, we're going to put them together in this sense, right? This is the same thing as where the Chariot card is. You left, you went through, you came out the other side. But anyway, back to the Ace of Pentacles, excuse me. When you're walking down that path, you get to a point to where you need to walk away from certain things. You're walking down that path, you see that your goals, they're going to require that sacrifice. You're not told that sacrifice had to be made, but you're wanting that end goal. So you're making those sacrifices. You're having to walk away. You're, while you're going through this subconscious, maneuvering, you're also going through the Hermit sense, You're drawing wisdom up from Mother. You're walking the path. And you're not sure where to step next, where do I turn next? Where do I go? You're drawing information up with the light. You're not trying to find something. Your eyes are closed. You're looking to attract something to you. And through that introspection is when you get that. Your conscious mind begins to see what's going on. You make it through the Moon. You end up on the other side of death, which is also in representing of the Moon card as well, because the back of the Moon card, which shows the Sun aspect, is of death, is on death, showing that rebirth of light, that new light within you has been seen, that new version of you is shown, that new vitality is arrived. But there it is in the background there, the sun rising, but then here's the Moon, but you can see the Moon is not full. It's it's a crescent moon. Then it's also eclipsed. And that's why the sun is full from the back view on the death card. But regardless, that just kind of tells you how intertwined these things are. are when it comes down to tarot, and how much these readers don't actually know of what they're talking about. These all fully connect. What's the flag rose? That is a peace sign. That is a white lily or a white rose, and that is a symbol of peace. It's like a surrendering flag, if you would. And welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. But anyway, back to the Ace of Pentacles. You see the path that you need to walk on. The flowers there, the white lilies again, they're representing the peace, the innocence that's needed to see the end goal, without allowing that rational mind to convert it and distort it, pervert it, and make it seem like it's too far fetched or not able to be there. But it's all about that journey, being able to not only see what you want, but going after it. And that's just a test of the Ace of Pentacles. Seeing the end goal, having the thought, not only just the thought, but having the thought serve feeling, and just showing you the end goal that you're desiring, and showing you the grand finale that you're wishing, the destiny point, right? But it doesn't show you the path to get there. And that's where the rational mind becomes a bit inflamed. It can start to, create, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, things are going to fall apart, and say all these things to make things difficult. And even though they may happen, the rational mind is banking on you to not listen to that other force. It's trying to get you to ignore your intuition, the intuitive side of you, which is also the feminine side of you. Everyone's intuitive, not everyone pays attention to it or knows how to overstand it. When dealing with the intuition, we're not talking about hearing actual words. We're talking about a feeling. Intuitive nudges and things are feelings. It's not necessarily getting a word of it. But that also frees you from this trap of feeling like you're the only intuitive one. Everyone's intuitive. Everyone has to be intuitive. It's the feminine aspect. And as us being a twin individual, having both a rational side and a feminine side, a right side and a left side, two poles, we have to have that feminine aspect. It's just that we don't pay attention to it. We've neglected it for so long that it's become, I don't want to say the word subordinated. I don't think that's the right word to use, but it's become abandoned in that sense. It's up to the masculine aspect of you, the mind, to walk back and take that journey back. But then we have the Page of Swords, which, funny enough, we already uploaded. It is the cups between Libra and Aquarius. It talks about moving forward. Your mind, if you notice with the swords, you'll see clouds within all the swords, mainly within the swords, right? If you notice, the head and the cloud are level. The cloud is not necessarily above. There's a little bit above his head, but there's not a lot. That means that you're not quite overthought yet. You don't quite know where you're going. Things are still being made. Your head is somewhat still in the clouds because you're still not fully on the physical yet. You're still coming from mother, getting the wisdom, the nourishing, the steps forward from mother, while also trying to allow yourself to dictate it into a plan, or allowing the rational mind to see it and to move with it in a beneficial way, which can be difficult. But you're already kind of standing on a hill. There's water all around you, meaning that where you're standing at is from an elevated point of view. You're needing to see things from a higher point of view, regardless. And the water around is showing that there's always going to be that nurturing. Wherever you look, there's going to be that divine mother. You're not supposed to go somewhere yet. You might feel stranded because you might not have a full solid plan to move forward yet, but that's not the purpose of seeing this card. It's not to take bold action immediately. It's to know that that action is getting ready, to be in that mutable stage, to be ready to transform, to, even if you want to test the ideas, asking people about them, just getting opinions, just the building phase. You're forming into something more solid. But that's what's going on with the Page of Swords. And again, with it being from like Libra to Aquarius, you're in the space to really obtain wisdom from the plan. You're actually in the state to really benefit yourself heavily. But again, with the rational mind and how it is, And even holding the sword, you see he's holding the sword to the left. He's not letting the rational mind run forward. He's letting the mind go to the left being the feminine side, so it can see what's going on. This is what we need to do. I'm getting ready to move forward, but I need to move left to right, not right to left. I need to move from the divine forward, you know, in that sense. What other card are we just going to talk about today? And another big thing about tarot that a lot of people get confused is you're not actually getting any messages from spirit at all. There's not, the only spirit that is around so-called readers when they're reading is actually a jinn. And I found that out uh, through a lot of meditations and doing this egregore stuff. It's not God or these deities. It's a jinn. It's a trickster spirit. It's a jinn. These readers don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're messing with. So of course the message can get misconstrued. No wonder their messages are so confusing. And wait a minute, I got this wrong because they're actually doing that because they're not reading anything solid. It's actually so out of bounds of what's actually being shown that it's them making the story. It's them actually controlling it. But it's not them in that sense. It's that jinn that's around them, feeding them information based off of their own past experiences and their own unhealed wounds, versus seeing how it may affect the collective and affecting yourself in that way. Because it has nothing to do with spirit at all. Like, these people are like, they're possessed. I don't give a fuck if these people, I don't care how strong they say they are, they're possessed by a jinn, one of the weakest fucking forms of a demon ever. Sucks to be you. You're not that strong. It's the ego that wants to make you feel strong because the numbers and the money and the attention feeds that aspect of you rather than the soul, and it mocks what the soul would feel because it can do that. It knows how to do that, but it wants you to ignore that part and say, oh, I can do all this stuff too, so let me do it for you. No, I'd rather have the one that's connected to God do it rather than the one connected fucking to the physical reality do it for me, because that's not going to lead me anywhere. And that's the truth of the reality. These people don't know what they're talking about. They're running around in circles. That's why one day a message is everything's good, and the next day everything's awful, because that's how they are. That's who they are. They're reading themselves for you because they haven't healed. They're still stuck trying to heal. They're probably, the only reason why they're probably even practitioners are doing magic in the first place is to do it on other people to keep them away from them, because they've yet to control themselves. They don't even know what they're doing. It's bizarre. And people don't like to hear that, but this is the solid truth of what's going on within the realm of tarot card reading. Not tarot, but tarot card reading. Is the misinformation of what tarot is, the lack of information of what tarot is, and the fact that these readers don't actually read. They regurgitate. Every message is the same. Zodiacs are different. That's about it. Because some people use different zodiacs for the cards because they're not using the actual Dendera tablet, which has the zodiac for these cards. It has the equinoxes and everything. And that's what this is based off of. It has all 13. It has the fishes if you want to add them. It has all the constellations, not just the ones we're familiar with on it as well. That's where these cards came from. We're not dealing with just 13 constellations. Get your head out the gutter. There's thousands and millions of them out there that are revelated with these cards that tell the story of life. Why are we focused on 13 of them? Because the 13 disciples or the 13 bloodlines make it make sense, right? Regardless, these people got to get educated, because Age of Aquarius. And people might not like it. I've actually gotten a lot of... TikTok's not happy with it. TikTok's not happy with it right now. I've gotten like 3 messages from people that have blocked me right after seeing the message, which is kind of funny, because why would you do that? Like, why would you block someone after seeing them a message? Like, just don't send them the message. You're doing too much. But they're like, you're being mean about it. I'm not being mean. I'm just telling the truth. I just got to get it out because it's been going on for how many fucking centuries? It's like, dude, it's an old game. But then, yeah, here we have the Hermit. The Hermit introspection. Again, I'm going to try my best to show that the Hermit's eyes are closed, but if you can't see it, just look up the card. The Hermit's eyes are closed. He is not looking. He is not looking inward. He's not looking outward. That lantern's not helping him see shit. There's something down there, out off that cliff that he's looking down, that needs to come up to him. There's something he's trying to draw up. He needs it to see him. He doesn't need to see it. He knows it's there. It knows that there's there. He's the lighthouse. He's the signal. What do I need to do? This is what people mean by they go hermit mode. Hermit mode isn't sitting in your room and not doing anything. Hermit mode is actually introspecting, going deep within and asking yourself questions that you normally wouldn't ask to draw up new information, not old information, to be understood in a new way. You need new refurbishment and refinery is what the hermit is. It shows you the shell that you left and the new one you're about to walk into. This new version of you needs to be introspected, needs to be seen, but you can't do it without knowing what's going to happen next. The rational mind can't do that. So you silence it. You close off your eyes, you shut your senses down, and you draw up the information. It's already in you. You just have to see it. You have to draw it from, obviously, the deep blue, the mother, the water, the ocean, matter, M-A-T-E-R, water, right? By the cards colored in that sense. It's not in that sense to keep things mysterious and dark, but it's to show the mothering nurture. It's going to be, because it's not black, it's not nighttime, it's that blue. It's that nurturing blue, that deep blue. It's a call to truly go within and see what you are and who you are, rather than worrying about what's going on around you, because those answers that are going around you are just going to show you what's happening inside of yourself. But since you're seeing it from the rational mind's point of view, it's going to be harder because it doesn't want to agree to that. You see it from the heart space point of view, it's not going to fight. It's going to know exactly what it says. The tarot always, well, tarot is, tarot is a life way. It is a path of life. It's a science of life. So of course it would tell you everywhere exactly where you need to go, because it's based off of exactly what you need to do. You just need to know what tarot actually is the thing when it comes down to it. Because the cards are different from the actual overstanding of tarot. These things are just to help you overstand it when you don't have that art, mastered or known of. But we have the Wheel of Fortune. And Wheel of Fortune is good old Jupiter. Talking about luck. Still breaking this card down fully. But from the most part, we can get down is the fire, water, air to earth, the Leo, the Scorpio, which is a phoenix in this card, because Scorpio did not used to be a scorpion, it used to be a phoenix. You have Aquarius, the man bearing water, and then you have, oh my god, Capricorn. I could not fucking remember it. Save my life. No, it's Taurus. You have Taurus, my bad. The Sphinx represents pyre. The sword going to the left represents that the pyre is being fueled by the rational mind. The mind, you yourself are using the pyre. Pyre, P-Y-R, is pure fire. It's divine fire. It's the fuel that runs this world. It's the reason why things happen. It's the energetic pull behind, like, the atoms and ions moving in this realm. It's pyre. It's the force behind this realm. It's not from this realm. It's beyond this realm. That fire in the middle is pyramid. That's different. Pyre itself just means pure fire. It just means fire. It's fire from without this realm. It's not fire from this realm. But the snake on the card, a lot of people think the snake means evil. The snake just means life. It's in the form of a sine wave. If you look at what a sine wave is, it is the time of life. When you are on like a heart monitor, you have a sine wave moving. You don't want the sine wave being flat. You want it being moving. The fact that the snake is in that sine wave moving and that motion is showing that there's motion happening. The fox, or the devil, you could call it, at the bottom of the wheel is the fate. That's fate that you're moving forward. You yourself should be the Sphinx on top, avoiding fate. The wheel is always going to move, and fate will always remain, at the bottom. You can always have a chance to move up with life because it's going to push you up there. But when you fall off of the top of the wheel, and the only way you would fall off the top of the wheel is when you lose your wings, when you stop being above the mind and you start letting the mind control you. Anything with wings on the tarot does not mean angel, it means heightened awareness. What do birds do? They fly with wings. They're able to see things from a higher advantage. They're above the clouds because they see higher than what the mind can catch. It's using feeling to fuel its thoughts, to hold it up, rather than using its thoughts to generate feelings and create disaster and fate. The Wheel of Fortune is all about it's the wheel of life. It's about how you're moving. Are you following the order of the elements from fire to water, air to earth, from the idea that you're faced with to the feeling it generates, to the thought that that feeling will now fuel, to the action on the physical that is going to gratify that thought, rather than having an idea and then a thought that then creates a feeling for an external reaction, which is a disorganized cycle and then puts you in the reverse. But yeah, all of them have books. They're all wise. They have all written. They're all seeing things. They're all reading the realm around them. They're receiving the wisdom. And they're following the story, the path that they need to follow. Or at least the rules that they're following within the element the current is, to achieve those desires. Obviously, in reverse, it means the opposite. They didn't follow within the rules or some form of like disorganization. But other than that, Leo being the lion for bravery, which is also just a strength card, needing to have the rational mind tamed, and not attacking or barking at everything. You have Scorpio, which would be the phoenix, which is the rising of that feeling from fire to water, creating. To the Aquarius, which is man bearing water, man bearing wisdom. It is you now, the mind, the man, holding the water from the feeling, from the intuitive, from the mother, to create what you're desiring on the physical. Whatever you create on the physical is going to remain on the physical. It's going to be instated in that. So this is where you really have to check what cycle you're using. Are you using the actual order of alchemy, or are you going around in circles? Most people don't know the order of alchemy because the zodiacs are all messed up, and the zodiacs go off of the order of alchemy. They should. Modernized versions don't. It goes Aries to Taurus. How the fuck do you go from fire to air to earth to air to water? It should be fire to water to air to earth. So it should go Aries, Leo, Sag, then to Cancer. It shouldn't go Aries, Taurus, Gemini, then to Cancer. That doesn't make sense. How does it go from the first phase, from cardinal all the way to like God, like it does? It's not following that same. It's not. It's what is it? It's not mutable. It's no, it is mutable. Yeah. I don't know why I was like, nah, it's mixed. That's why I'm not getting it right, because it's not mutable. Sag is mutable. It's mixed. But how do you go from Aries like that to mixed, and then to Gemini in that order, from like fire, earth to air? That doesn't make sense within alchemy. Well, all those, all the Chinese medicine and knowledge and stuff that you would perceive from tarot comes from Egyptian knowledge. This is an Egyptian thing. Everything that you receive from this, I don't care if you can compare it to the Kabbalah or not, it comes from the Egyptian stuff. There's things from the Bible that are in the tarot deck because the Egyptians had it way before the fucking Greeks and them did, obviously. But they kept those imagery whenever Pamela and Alistair and them all got together in the Golden Dawn and created these cards. They left those symbologies in there to lead you to those right paths. But so many people just are not awake, and they're very much under Iblis's spell, and they are damning people to hell daily because of this misinformation. They're getting them focused on antichrist material needs and focusing on other people outside of them rather than themselves, and bettering who they are so they can cooperate with others rather than trying to control other people and their lives and stuff, which isn't the path of life that the soul desires. The soul doesn't desire anything of that nature. The rational mind does. The soul is with God. The heart space is with God. It's with the mother. It's a collective reading. No, this isn't a reading. This is me breaking down some of the cards. But we have the Knight of Cups, and no, well, that is the thing, Lauren. Though it is a perception, there is a hell where you burn forever. That burn isn't an actual physical flame. That burn is the fact that your own passions, your own desires are backfiring on you and creating more disaster around you. So in that sense of the spiritual nature or the religious nature, hell isn't a place that you go, it's a state of existence. Same thing as dimensions. They're not places you go, it's states of frequency. It's not, you don't go to the 12th dimension. It's a frequency. You don't go there. It's a mentality thing. It's not about where you travel in space. That doesn't matter. The only reason you're able to do that is because your mind. Your brain is allowing you to do that thing. The only reason why you're allowed to do it is because of that. Your soul knows it can do it no matter what. That's why the Egyptians knew. I think it's the Ka, I believe, is with the bird and the soul that would leave your body when you left, and then when you slept, and when you came back, it came to your astral travel. That's what left your body, your soul. It can do that, but your mind has to allow it. Your mind has its own controlling over things, and your soul doesn't control anything. It does what the divine will allow it. It knows it doesn't need to do anything really. It's with God. It doesn't need anything. That might be hard to like digest for a few, but it really doesn't. It knows everything. It doesn't have to fight. But that rational mind will definitely prevent and allow you to do things, and it's just about controlling that. Because it's just awful. But anyway, with the Knight of Cups. Oh, hold on. Well, yeah. I don't know. I'm working on that right now. Word. Anyway, the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is the mutable. There we go. And as you see, the horse is white. Now on tarot, you'll see a lot of things. Certain horses will be white, certain horses will be black. And certain sphinxes, mainly on the chariot, one is white, one is black, right? White within tarot, when it's talking about white, is the masculine. It is what is seen. The masculine is allowed you to see things on the physical. Light just means to be aware, to make awareness of, or it could just mean to have less weight. Either way, right? If you're going to go by definition. But if we're going to look up origins of things, which is how we research, is not by definition, by origin. We look up origin of light, right? Well, it's going to tell me about the fucking Big Bang. I don't care about that. Hold on, let me go down here. So yeah, it's a Germanic origin. Don't have to say any of these words. But white and lux, which is light. So white just means light, which is luck. Well, just being able to be seen. Black is the feminine aspect, the receiver, the creator. Etymology is the only way to go. Like origins, etymology is the way. Definitions change too much. It's weird. And I get that too. I get what you mean too, Lauren. I always just like bounce back and forth like that. I don't do it in a sense to like make anyone mad, even though it definitely fucking can. I just do it in a sense of being interactive because you don't meet people who talk about shit like this very often, that have like actual like knowledge and not just bad and shit. So it's like it's a good way of conversating. Well, proversating, I should say. Regardless, the white horse means you're moving forward with masculine. The reason why you'd be moving forward with masculine energy is because you have the cups. You already have the feminine. In fact, you're holding the feminine and allowing the feminine to kind of guide you because you're not really seeing what's happening. You're allowing the masculine to, look. Hold on, excuse me. Let me get my words together because my mouth is fucking going dry, and I can't speak. Anyway, you're holding the feminine already. The only thing that needs to get to the feminine next is that rational mind, which is why the horse is looking down at the water. His tongue's out. He's exhausted. You've moved forward with that feeling, but it's also costed you a lot of treading new land, the barren land. There's not much around. There's like a few greeneries in the background there, but it's barren land. You never walk this way because the rational mind has never walked the path of the mind, of the soul. It hasn't walked the path of listening to the feeling. It doesn't know that feelings exist. It just knows it as an impulse that creates things. Same thing here, Lauren. I'm glad we got that. A lot of people here are like that. It's just you get the scraggles here and there. You know what I mean? But regardless, you're also wearing an armor of fish, meaning that you are able to allow feeling to not only guide you but to protect you in this sense. You've allowed yourself to nurture yourself, and you've listened to feeling so much that you can actually wear it as armor. You can wear your heart on your sleeve a little bit more without getting hurt because you've now worked through why those pains in that heart space. Well, not even the pain in the heart space, because the heart can't feel pain. What's going on really is the rational mind's making you believe that your heart's hurt to make you not follow it, so that you follow it instead and go off its own path, right? And what's going on is you've learned how to feel. And the rational mind isn't used to feeling those things. It becomes exhausted. You do the shadow work, it becomes exhausting. Now you need that nourishment. Now your mind needs that nourishment. How are you going to ease your mind? By being able to move from that feeling space to that thought space. Now you can think about it. Now you don't have to worry about feeling all these things. Now you can think about it, digest it, do however you need to do with it. But it's moving from that feeling space to that mind space, from that heart space right to the heart space to the mind space. And that's what you're getting ready to do. That's that nurturing. That's that resting point. Even though it's saying to move forward, the exhaustion of self needs to be aware of, and taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself, doing what you need to do to make sure that you are stable and prepared enough to walk down the path that you're desiring is the next goal, is that next step. And then we have the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is very interesting to get after the Knight of Cups. Simply because it's like, oh yeah, you can do it, and then it immediately goes to, oh well, you kind of didn't. But anyway, the Ten of Swords, it's self-sabotage on the self. The red cape is your rational mind. Red in tarot has to do with the rational mind. It has to do with distractions, the five senses, the masculine, right? Also has to do with the masculine. Gold is the heart space, and the white is your innocence. What you did is you sacrificed the heart space and your innocence for the rational mind. You've allowed your rational mind to stab you. It goes in orders. The rational mind, the red coating is on top, and then it goes to the gold, to the white. The heart space protects your innocence, what holds it. That's why the white's the first layer. Second layer is the heart. The third layer is the rational mind. You almost made it, or you were close. You see the nurturing, or maybe now after the defeat of the mind process, you see the nurturing, all the waters around you. Again, the mountains in the back, there's something about the hermit, the trials of the moon that you went through, the subconscious, diving, that wasn't quite seen yet. There was something that slipped the way. Maybe you tried to take another way instead of walking the path of the hermit. Maybe you tried taking a shortcut, not wanting to do that deep introspection and just feeling like you can hold it on your own then. But there's something about the way of not only your mental maturity, not meaning that you're immature mindly, but just knowing how much wisdom and experience that you have mentally, and as well with your soul. There was a misalignment where the mind couldn't grasp something that the soul was giving it, something that the heart space was giving it. It wasn't being nurtured properly. It was running with thoughts of the physical realm, being overbearing, over encumbered, having thoughts of, things are only going to fall apart, nothing's going to get better, everything's just awful, is the Ten of Swords. And this is a call to tell you that you are either going to move on to the physical with the 10, because 10 just means moving on to the next phase or going back to square 4, which is your 4 of wands, where you're needing to go back and connect with yourself and be engaged with yourself with the whole engagement thing. Let me find the 4 of swords, 4 of wands, excuse me, real quick. And I can show you like the what the fuck, the engagement, like, uh awning, I guess it's an awning, is that what they're called? I'll show it. I guess I don't know what the hell it's called. I think it's an awning, whatever it is. It's, yeah, it's here. It's the it's them being engaged, and it's an engagement thing. But this is your square four. This is, you need to go back to yourself being engaged with yourself to obtain some form of victory. But with the Ten of Swords, with it being upright or reversed, it's just telling you that, especially upright, that if you move forward, you're going to be moving forward with all of these swords in your back, which is going to make things harder on you. And you might even be carrying at this point like a Ten of Wands with you, a bunch of ideas that haven't been worked on either because of this Ten of Swords that's also hindering you. So there's something there to look at as well. But with it, or you could take it as needing to be engaged with yourself before moving forward, so that you can prevent the disaster, or at least some, or the majority of it. But yeah, if anyone does need like a 2-card pull, we are doing those. And if anyone wants to, delve deeper within these things, I do have tarot classes. I have those tarot videos uploading as well, like the shorts. I have videos I'm going to be making later on, because I'm going to go through all the major arcana too with the shorts that I'm doing, but I'm also making like concited videos. Like we already have one of them, like the wands together. I'm working on making like a script for like reading off for like all the cups, and how like the cups intertwine with life and the element of water. And then I'll be doing like the swords. Obviously, we finish the swords, I'll be doing those after I get the cups finished, and then we'll move on to the pinnacles. And then I'm gonna be breaking these down at least some. There's a lot of like, because I don't want to have everything. I want to be able to have this information out and seen to people. So I'm not like anything that you're getting from like the classes you can get from like the videos and stuff, but it's about the deeper connection of actually knowing tarot at that point, and less of the cards, and knowing like how tarot incorporated within the world, and what tarot is, and astrology, and what astrology truly is, and the actual rulings of like the planets, stepping away from the westernized viewpoint of tarot and going back to the roots of it. And that's what we're going over like within the classes. But we also go over all the cards in the correct line of zodiac, the numerology of cards and stuff. And I also send you like a little PDF that has like a bunch of like charts in it and stuff, to help you not only memorize the cards, but to see the numerology and to see tarot throughout life. Like even in the British Museum, there's like these tablets that show you the rebirth of man, and how you go up, beyond the sun, and then come back down to earth. So there's all of that there too. But getting this information out is like so important to me. I love like it, because it changes your life. It really does. Like tarot is a super helpful tool. It really is. It's just we need to get educated on it, because it's not as Western as we think. There's always a reason for things. What we receive now in this time and age has been, construed a little bit. It's like we live in a perverted world. Like things have been changed so much. So when we get a fact of this was the originator, we need to look a little bit further back and see, is this really the originator? Did it really come from this place? How could it have? Well, Pythagoras was around when these cards were made, and Pythagoras went to school in Egypt. And there were a few other scholars within the Greco-Roman times that were scholars that went to schools in Egypt, and colleges within Egypt, that then brought that knowledge over to the Roman Greco side, but it wasn't translated properly. They didn't quite understand it. There were steps that they didn't take down that path of life because they weren't familiar with it. It was going from a religious mindset to a full-on spiritual mindset. So there was some miscommunications. It wasn't, it might not have been done in false light at first, or in bad means at first, but it became a ball of unstoppable force. It became something that then people had to feed into, and began to see the power in that, and then ran off with that. Who's to say? I don't personally know. I'm just giving a guesstimation after that point, but we won't truly fully know that full answer until we get to all that information, or unless we see someone who is actually fully there, and they have that sort of proof, or something comes up like documentation of it or something. You know what I mean? So it's just very important to keep an open mind, because like, even when I read these cards, even when I talk to my mentor, we don't know everything of these cards just yet. We're still studying them. Like, this is a daily thing. He's been studying it for 10 years. I've been studying it for 2. It's, you know, it's a gift that keeps on giving, because the deeper you truly know this world, this realm, the more you can get out of these cards. Not based off of the mythologies and in the pathways of life. We're talking about the soul and you, not the path you're walking, but you in your soul. It will show you so much. It will solve so much. It will like remove curses from you if you feel cursed. It will remove all sorts of blockages from you, because it tells you and shows you exactly what you need at all times. It's really a battle between the mind and the heart, and you have to understand that the heart doesn't want to fight. So it's not a fight really. It's just the rational mind just bitching all the time. It doesn't like being here. It can't create what it wants. It doesn't have that free realm to create, but it can't be trusted. Because if, let's say we did had unlimited power, let's say we had the power of our heart space, of our soul, in our mind. You know how awful that would actually be? People would die like that. Like, if someone didn't like you, boom. If someone wanted to do something to you, boom, there'd be nothing you could do to stop it. It would be that chaos factor that would allow that to happen, to move you forward, because you wouldn't have that mental strength above that individual, or this power and spirit in that person to do that differently. We have to purify ourselves by operating out of the heart space rather than the mind, to obtain that power, to truly see that power full-fledged and not held back or restricted, because we should be here to create heaven on earth. We should be able to draw the ideas from the cloud, from the mind space down here effortlessly and flawlessly, and have whatever we desire. That's what we came here to do. But we have to go through these trials and tribulations first, of working through the self. These things, these manifestations, these dreams are very possible. There are just limitations in your mindset that are actually blocking you. It has nothing to do with anyone else, genuinely, because magic is just a mental game at the end of the day. As that, if you have a stronger mentality than someone, it doesn't matter. That's what they don't, the government, why we're not taught the truth or things, we don't have a strong mentality. We don't have an overstanding, we have a grasp on these subjects of these things, so we're weaker mentally. We don't have to fight. It's a mental battle. That's why MK Ultra's a thing. We can't fight them by fist no more. We can't go around and just keep killing these people. It ain't gonna get us nowhere, and then we're not gonna have like our supply for anything. We got to control them mentally, make them slaves, make them sheep, take out their brains, lobotomize them, make them dumb, so that we can lead them wherever the fuck we need to without question. And the ones that want to, that see the truth, we don't got to worry about them. They do whatever. They look crazy. Until they start making moves, then we got to do something about it. Until then, they just look weird and stupid. They just on a rampage going nuts, right? And that's the whole battle, is keeping you within like a psychosis or a delusion instead of seeing the truth of it. And it's an awful thing, for the rational mind to go through, at least, because the rational mind truly doesn't know how to, you know, work with it. It doesn't understand like why it needs to feel punished, or why it seems to be punished. Confirm last phone number, just for Venmo. I don't have a phone number for my Venmo, that I'm aware of. You can try 1511 though, and if 1511 doesn't work, I'll look for the other number, and if that doesn't work, I guess you could just hit 0000 and try that. But it's either one. It should be 1511 or the other one. Because like the numbers that I use aren't able to like receive codes, because it's just a free phone number. I don't have like an actual like paid one, so I don't have like full SMS like freedom in that sense. So Venmo wasn't able to accept my phone number, but I still had to put it there anyway. So I don't have a phone number, but I do, and it's very confusing. And also, not a lot of people use my Venmo that much, so it also like it has like a weird security check with that. Anyway, back to the cards. Oh shit, hell yeah. Well, that's good to know. But the Three of Pentacles, that is Capricorn and Mars. That is you working, the beginning stages of you working with Mars, the four elements, the marshal. Mars is the four elements. Mars is the first planet you got to make it through to get to heaven. The four elements, alchemy, water, fire, water, air, earth. It talks about the four corners, the rulings of this world, the marshal. He oversees, Mars oversees, is the closest to the sun for the reason. No, you're fine, Ellie. I didn't know that you could pay without confirming. Because I've had that issue a few times with Venmo, and we somehow got it to work. I don't know if they did that or not, but I'm glad to know that you can. Don't feel bad about it. It's always good to keep me informed with that stuff because fuck, shit just happens all the time over here. We just gotta know. But it's about you following the order. And with the, I broke this down yesterday, but I will break it down again because I love these. I love this card. I love all cards. But anyway, the feminine is cloaked. And that's what she's in. She's in a cloak. Why it's the red and the yellow, I'm not too sure yet. I have to look that up. But then you have your priest over here, who's looking directly at you. And the feminine's holding the plan. She can't be seen because she's not there. You're building. You're working on time. You're on top of a short scaffold. I think that's what it's called. To be elevated, to see above, right? To not only see above the plan from a rational point of view, but to see that that plan is going to branch off and create something new. You're looking at both the priest and mother, the eyesight. And the reason why is because you're waiting on them to give you the call. And it's not the priest as just in the physical world, but it's the mother, the feminine, feeding the priest the information from the rules, from the blueprint, right? There is a sign on the physical that you get, an idea on the physical that you receive that makes you go, oh shit, it's time to do this, or I should do this now, or maybe this is a good time to do. And that's when you strike. That's when the mind will tell you now is the time to go, and you get that confirming feeling that backs it up. Or sometimes, first you get the feeling because that first feeling you get is a thought. And then the second thought you get generates more of that feeling, or the second thing that you feel usually is a feeling at that point, depending on like how aware you are of that cycle. Is very weird. But you're waiting on the perfect time to strike. And three, the numerology of three, is the conjunction of the opposites, or the union of opposites, I should say. The opposites being the feminine and the masculine, one being the feminine, two being the masculine, them coming together making three. It is the total, is the whole. It is you working with both the feminine and masculine to achieve something. And that's why all three are also on the card. Do I have a book? I have a few books. I don't have a book on tarot. But I have I have two books on duality. I have a book on self-love, a book on like how this realm kind of operates with the rational mind. I have a channeled book that has like a bunch of channeled messages from like, I had one from Archangel Michael. It had a few channeled messages from like Anubis, Thoth, a few of the angels. Can you order it? Yeah. You can either email me to order it, or you can go to the my website. Here, let me post the website in here real quick. It is in the pinned, but sometimes the pinned is kind of hard to get to work and to see. But you can also go there and check out the books as well. A dictionary. I wish I had a dictionary. I wish I had a dictionary. If I had, I could probably make like a small one to explain why I say certain words the way I do, and like breaking it down like that in a sense. But I don't have one right now. But I do need to write one on tarot. I want to get more information though. Because right now I'm kind of like, with how things are and how things are moving, with this whole tarot thing, is I'm going to like be teaching in like a school environment at some point. So if you are interested in tarot classes, kind of just hold off until we get that settled out, because I'm going to have like a whole new regimen of teaching. It's not going to be on Google Classroom anymore. It's going to be more of like a one-on-one experience. But uh, after I get the hang of that, I'll probably be working on the book because there's a lot of gaps that I need to fill in, and there's a lot of biblical references that I need to mark and like have down. I had a lot of this information on my other laptop, but that was stolen a few months ago, which is very fucking unfortunate because I had so much shit on that laptop. I had full on like Bible cross references and stuff. The Four of Swords, I can't remember it. So I don't know if anyone here would know it, but on the Four of Swords, there is a biblical reference that I still can't fucking like remember or figure out because I was in a divine time when I was researching it, and it is just not there anymore. I did not get to. I wasn't even using this laptop at the time. I'm gonna be booked and busy. I hope. I haven't. I have been. I've been in a drought. I've been in a major drought. It's been really good for resting and studying and like getting things together for sure. But I don't know. I've rested up enough, you know. I feel ready for how busy it's going to be, but I'm excited for it. But yeah, this is a biblical reference. I don't know. I don't remember where. I don't remember when. I don't even fucking remember the characters. I gotta ask. I gotta ask. The hobo again. He goes by the spiritual hobo. I gotta ask him again because I completely fucking forgot. But dude, it goes so deep in this shit. Like Cain and Abel on the Nine of Swords. I know we were talking about the Three of Pentacles, but I'm just gonna fucking pull out cards at this point. We're just going down the road with it. But here it is. There's Cain and Abel right there. There's the tree as well. I mean, sorry, wrong side. There's the tree. It does have. I think it does have something to do with the lamb Ellie. Um, it is also with the Nine of Swords. I forgot what this quilt is called. Um, as well, but it has all the zodiac on it and the roses. But the scene of Cain and Abel's on there, which is the whole battle of the Nine of Swords, is telling you the rational mind of battling between you can and you can't. The Nine of Swords is a Gemini card. Gemini and Sun, it's you battling yourself, and seeing if you're really able to, take those steps that you're desiring or not. Knowing that, I know that the quilt represents that you have boundless opportunity and whatever path you take will grow. It's representing the totality of you. I just forgot the actual name of the quilt, because that also has significance within the history of tarot, and in with the upbringing of life. It's a very like, I forgot, it's a relic. It's a relic of some type, is what it's like, not mocking but like trying to give the image of it is. It's kind of a bit of spiritual renewal, um but there's like an actual like everything on these cards is representative of a study of life, you know before Egypt up till, with the spiritual nature of self and the evolution of the soul. So they all have like actual physical things that they can be related to. It's really just about knowing that stuff and going down that path, and he has the information for it, um which is which would, why he's teaching it, obviously. um but things are going to get crazy here soon, and I'm very excited to be part of it because holy shit, like, I don't know, everything's like popping off because like he's got new students, and the way it's going to be with the school is, I'll be teaching like one section of it. Like I'll be teaching the charts for, first. And then like if another student gets the hang of things really well and they'll take over charts, and then I'll move up a level, or if I need to stay at charts, I'll stay at charts and they'll move up a level. But we're all like, the students are going to be the teachers of the school basically, which is really good. Um, because it not only allows you to like elevate through like different, mindsets and seeing things from different viewpoints, but it also takes you through like the actual ranks of like what tarot is, and the different ways of seeing your own like reflection and stuff, but also grounding it into like all the things that you're getting is just coming from simply this reflection of who you are. Like even the Page of Cups, like learning to speak fish. I forgot the outfit that he's wearing too. Everything matters. Like the boots, the styling of the clothes, and everything represents a whole individual. Like the nine of cups, he's dressed up as a genie would be, wearing the shoes and everything. Um, what the fuck is that? What are they called? Like I don't forgot what they're called, man. I forgot what they would call the kids, the ruffians on the Five of Swans. Five of Swans. Damn. I forgot what you would, because it was like in the, I think it was in like what the 70s or 80s or something. Like the people that wear that hat, that'd be ruffians or something, like the gang boys or whatever the fuck. I forgot what they're called, but that's why he's wearing the outfit. Is he's showing as like the oppressor. He's also red to show you that's the rational mind being the oppressor. Um, but yeah, there's just so much, man. There's so much. There's way too much, honestly. The more I look at it, there's a lot, but it's just about, you know, studying it, studying the history of it, and just knowing the symbolism of it too, because the fish and the Page of Cups just represents something living in water. Like the fish doesn't mean like a biblical thing. It's a very literal statement of saying that fish is living in water, and you've took that fish out of the water. You've took whatever was living within the feeling, and now you're holding it to yourself, trying to listen to it and like know what it's trying to bring you to. Because you're looking, you know, he's looking at the cup, like trying to listen to that fish, and that fish is talking to him. The fish's mouth is even open. If you could look at the card and zoom in on it, like on Google, or whatever, that fish's mouth is open. It's talking to him. It's a whole thing. They're having a conversation, not with words, but with feeling. It's trying to use the intuitive nature of that thing. Yeah, the quote could definitely be comfort in the hope and dark, in that sense. It definitely can be for comfort, um, but the comfort's kind of pushed away at that sense. Um, but the pillow is golden, um, signifying rest is needed, just a need to sleep and to rest, to receive. But all the nines are about a test, regardless. Like every nine is the test. Is what you have built able to move forward, or is it going to be too much of a struggle? That's just a test, you know. And the answer of that test leads you to 10. Either puts you back at 1 or brings you to a new level. Pennyworth, yeah, yeah. That does click, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's like, you know, it's just about it's so hard to describe. They put so much like symbology in this shit. It's bizarre. Like we overlook it, and it's all there. But regardless, you know, it's just because we're aware of the symbology, but we're not aware of like what they mean. We've hit this point of like rationality where we dictate things can, you know, differently for our own without knowing the basis for it. We end up just assuming things because we hear it at one stature rather than knowing why it was created. Like the words positive and negative, you know, when we talk about energy with positive and negative, you can't say positive and negative are good and bad and that we don't need negative and only positive, because what would a battery that only has a positive side do? Absolutely fucking nothing. Same thing with the battery that only had a negative side. It needs both. That's why we're a pole. We live in polarity, not duality. We're not two separate things trying to be put together or holding two of the same. We're literally two different beings mashed together on a spectrum. And that spectrum is your moral compass, if you want to gauge it that way. Your mental over your emotional control, which is really just your emotions external, is just your emotions. How you act outward is your emotion. There's no such thing as an emotion. It's just a feeling that you believe is willing enough to act on, putting that emote in motion, which is why it's emotion. It's moving. It's energy in motion. That energy, that feeling that comes from whatever the fuck the idea we were faced with is. Speaking about ideas, here's the Ace of Wands. Speaking about ideas, here's the Ace of Wands. Obviously, it's all the fire signs. It is the first embarker. It is the grand idea that you receive from the divine to do what you desire to do on the path that you're on. Um, you can see the mountains behind there, you know, the moon, the hermit. You can kind of gauge what you'd have to do. This is just like getting the idea and knowing, okay, so if I have, you know, if I'm gonna walk this path, you know, I'm gonna probably have to do this and that and that. It's just seeing all those things from a faraway view, but seeing mainly the end goal. The prize, the main thing this idea is trying to show you is this, but all these other things are around it, and it's there to nurture you. It's there to show you, hey, this idea is good for you to it's nurturing for you to you know, to receive this idea, if it's upright, of course. If it's in reverse, I wouldn't really go with it. It's probably a bad idea. It's really a bad idea. um but with it being upright, with all the leaves on the stick, it means it's firewood. It is able to be burned. It has life. It already has nutrients in it. It wouldn't be able to have the leaves on it if it didn't have some form of life or water nurturing in it already. So it is pure. It is ready, handed to you by the divine with all that it needs. All that you need to do is use that wand correctly throughout all the phases, which is simple, but we make it difficult by materializing things or trying to make, you know, trying to dig down and receive an answer mentally rather than walking the path and just allowing things to occur when they need to. And then we have the Fool. I feel after the Fool, um it'll be the last card we break down for today. And then we will I don't know, do some 2 card pulls if we need them, just talk about random stuff if we want. However, um but the Fool has a lot of symbology. You are wearing the coat of many colors. You are holding a white lily. You are ready for a new beginning. You have your bag. The sun is shining on you. You're on the cliff. The white dog is your rational mind, the masculine mind barking at you. Hey, you're about to fall off the cliff. You're about to do something new. Something new is about to happen. This is happening. It's not there to cause stress. It's there to add energy to get you pumped and motivated to move forward. But it definitely can be stress if not, you know, handled and or digested correctly. You know that you have all the endless options. You see the world, you know, below you. You're not really looking where you're going because you're looking up at Mother still. You're still talking to Mother. You haven't divined yet. You're still waiting. Maybe waiting on a second sign, or you're just walking with blind faith. However, but you're getting ready to make that leap from the divine to the physical, or you know, from the start of life you're birthing to your journey. You know, whether that birthing be an idea that you have received and want to go down and you know, move forward with, or just, you know, within the story of tarot, your actual first conception of being dropped from Mother to Earth. Um, but yeah, that's why it's super important to research this stuff, dude. Because like, even with research, it's like it's more important. I would even say to research the like the actual like area where it came from, like the geographics of the area, knowing like the lifestyle that they lived with the Egyptians, of course, and where they got their, you know, their information. You know, going back to the Sumerians and times before then that they, you know, shared information and gathered and moved forward with. But like, it's just everyone's so, you know, everyone's looking at Egypt, but no one's looking at what Egypt actually brought. No one's seeing the actual like treasure, the Pandora's box that Egypt brought. We all think the Pandora's box is the Ark of the Covenant, which, though it may be, it could also just be a nuclear fucking weapon, because why the hell would you not be able to open it if it didn't have some form of like nuclear fission? If you open it, a great white light would happen? That sounds like a fucking nuke, dude. That sounds like a bomb going off. So I don't think that's the Pandora's box we want to open. I don't think that's the right one. There's something with that. But the true metal, the true gold that Egypt brought was tarot, because it's something that's lasted for this long and has remained within humans' hands. It is a relic that's remained hidden forever. Like, How many people you know actually have tarot cards? Doesn't even need to be the Rider Waite, or hell, even oracle cards, anything of that nature. All that stuff came from Egypt. That's Gypsy Kemetic stuff. That came from the land. You know, at least my land, my soul land, and very many others' lands as well. Um, they just don't. It's like you don't see it though, and it's not until you truly live what you say and what you think and what you preach that you actually see it. People all the time, images have 1,000 words, a picture speaks 1,000 words. Symbology is how this world is ran, yet no one has really dived into the symbology of tarot yet. It's like, what? Like, why? Well, publicly, until recently, with the spiritual hobo and what's going on with everything with this, like, are you really living the life that you say you are, or are you just saying these things because everyone else is saying it at that point? And this is what separates the real from the fake, and why there's so many popular readers reading the same thing over and over again, and why there's me ostracized, getting threatened by readers in email to not do this and shit. Like, dude, come on. I'm just gonna say some people know that they're doing this wrong, and they're not. And I don't mean that just from the sense of like they're just saying bullshit to say bullshit. I mean there are some readers that actually know that there's stuff deeper in this deck, but they dare not speak about it, which is unfortunate for them. It's gonna come out anyway. Is that why it's called the mothership? The mothership, depending on where you're getting the term mothership from, I guess, because mothership is really like what, oh my god, Elijah Muhammad was talking about with the in Revelations of the Bible, where like well, hold on. What it says in the Quran is that there's going to be flyers that fly from the sky, telling people that they have like a like, what was it, 5 days or a week to repent and to go back to what and to go back into your original form, or turn back to where be back, go back to your original state, and then flames will shoot down from the sky, from the mothership, or like Nibiru and the fleets that it brings, with the great balls of fire being literally just fleets from Nibiru. But that's what I get whenever I hear mothership. I haven't really heard people say Egypt is the mothership. At least how I'm doing. Nah, Thoth is just different. Aleister Crowley made that one. It delves more into the Egyptian occult rather than just life. So it's helpful on certain things, but only if you're walking the path of like Aleister Crowley and people of those rates. But they do. But the Thoth tarot does have interesting, like, symbology and wisdom in it. It's just more westernized. Pamela really wanted to keep it like authentic and to expose like a lot, and that caused a lot of disruption within the Golden Dawn. I forgot who the other like member was, but he completely fucking like left and tried to sabotage Pamela. He even made like it was the other Waite. Who was it? Was it Waiter Waite? Yeah, Waiter. I think it. No, it's no. Who was the other fucking? Who was the other Waite card? Because he like sped to make his deck before Pamela did, and his deck still got like ruined because Pamela was doing it properly. But that's why there's like two Waite decks. There's the one by Pamela. And then there's the one by the other dude. I can't remember his fucking name to save my life. Uh, Smithwaite. It was Arthur E. The Smithwaite. It was something about I think it was Arthur that got upset. It was someone. I don't remember who it was, but there was a whole like argument within the Golden Dawn which caused them all to split up, which is why like the order kind of like fell into the shadows. After like Pamela, released the deck, she went on to her own things. Alistair ended up, you know, breaking from the Golden Dawn and doing the whole portal shit after around that time. Pappas, okay. Hmm. Yeah. I mean, Pamela herself, you know, just studying Pamela's life though, she was a fucking, she was crazy, dude. In the art, she was into like occult, astrology, astronomy, everything. Like she was super, super like into it, and also into theater. Um, but she spent like her whole life basically studying these things. Crowley was. I'll always say this about Crowley. He gave good information. He just needed to stop doing heroin. Like if he just would have stopped doing that and not let his like inner demons get to him, he probably would have been a more of a revolutionizer than he is today. At least getting close to it. I mean, he obviously made a really big impact. Minus opening the portal, but he still did bring a bunch of good information, and that's something that you can't really disregard or take away. Um, and it's funny because a lot of Alistair's a lot of his work contradicts stuff that he also teaches, um, just because of like his upbringing and how all was. The first. It is the first. But yeah, he has a book called The Mother Plane. It's a super small book. You can like look it up and probably find like a PDF for it. And welcome in, welcome in. Hmm. How we doing? How we feeling? But yeah, I'm gonna look into the Terra of the Bohemias. I already have like the PDF of it up right now. I'll find time to read it sometime. Welcome in, Grand Rising. How we doing? How we feeling? Yeah, if anyone needs 2 carpools, let me know. Uh, The teaching segment's kind of over for now, at least. So we got the cards. I gotta get a new box. I want to get like a wooden box for this because I don't want to keep putting it back in this. Incredible. Oh, I'm doing very well. I cannot complain. I'm just chilling. I've had a very, very productive rising. I got a lot of what I wanted to get finished today. Hell yeah, we're glad to hear that. We were getting a lot of that yesterday. You just let me know. So I have 4 decks. You know, we're not just gonna be using the Raider weight for it. Because usually with these, I kind of like to expand it just to gravitate some more people in and then like teach more of the tarot in that sense. But we have angel cards, we have shadow tarot, some like animal cards. The animal cards are good for like advice. The angel cards are good for just general advice. Like they're nothing like too expansive, but just like a heads up and like motivation. The shadow tarot deals a lot with the it's a westernized deck for sure, but it deals a lot with the shadow and like integrations within that. But you just let me know what you desire the 2 card to be on, and we will jump into it. It's not paid donations, are appreciative, but they're not necessary for the 2 card reading. But they do help out a lot with just living situations and getting proper equipment to be able to like produce videos and stuff. Because I do have a fundraiser. I don't talk about it that much. I do like I try to share it. I should probably share the post again at some point. But it is for like the tarot classes, getting this like a better laptop, so I can actually record on my laptop and do lives on there, uh, and have like references and sheets up there, so it's not just me flipping like the cards around and showing and stuff like that. I'll have more time to actually focus on reading what I need to read and saying what I need to say rather than showing, everything off in that sense. And as well as just getting like a better mic, and things of that nature. Another tarot deck so that when I figure out for the Celtic cross readings to have it in that sense. Or just one to have in order in that sense. But regardless, it's just, to help out with that side of the business. Because YouTube does not help out much, and Instagram and TikTok also are in the same boat as YouTube with it, with not liking it. And Facebook I had to give up on because Facebook was just not letting me post things at all, so I just gave up. Facebook is just not it for me. I don't go on Facebook that much anyway, so it's not really an issue. But the rest of them are gaining little bits of traction. How you're, not necessarily, because you're yearning for an answer about how the physical is going to interact with you. What you would better want to know is how you are going to be within there, like tips to help you within therapy, either meaning like talking points or stuff of that nature, because the therapy is already set in state, right? So there's not really a need to worry about what's going to happen within therapy. It's more of what you're going to be prepared to bring to therapy, because in therapy it's really for you. The therapist is there to give you the advice that they know based off of like what they've either been told or studied, mixed in with like a bit of their own like personal advice and things of that nature. So it's not really worrying about the therapy in that sense. It's worrying more about you and how open you can be towards that therapist and towards yourself even, to receive like the answers and the healing in that sense. So we could ask it in that sense, and get a reading for it in that way. Um, but Nur, I can get you. I didn't see yours. I apologize for that, Nur. I just now did, but I can get yours for uh, the unlearning of certain programmings for sure. But tarot truly is like, it's so interesting, because like when people ask for readings, it's not that they can't get a reading what they ask for. It's just like what they're asking for isn't within the realm of what tarot stands for. So it just needs to be switched around. You know what I mean? Oh, you are the therapist. Mm. So I guess it's just more of figuring out. Um, mm, I wouldn't really say a reading would help you figure out how it's gonna go, but definitely giving you guidelines of like how to go about it yourself, or like preparations in yourself, keeping things in mind when doing therapy. But let me get Nerd real quick. So Nerd, with your true card, the first thing that you're going to need to unlearn is the Ten of Swords. Self-sabotaging thoughts, or um, listening to certain thoughts that lead you away from nourishment. Maybe because of fear. It's just the rational mind at this point doing its thing. Really focusing on what triggers certain thoughts is something that you need to worry about. There may be like certain patterns of thinking where you end up sacrificing something that you don't need to. This could even be like, just for an example, like spending things. Maybe you know that you shouldn't spend money on something, but you go ahead and do it anyway, right? Knowing that you shouldn't have. It's making those sacrifices there. What sacrifices are you making for your flesh or for your rational mind that kind of goes against or blocks what you're trying to achieve with the divine in that sense? And the chariot again, yeah, that's really what's keeping you from moving forward. That's why you don't have the other scepter, because the chariot's the big, it's the final card in the tarot story. It's where you finally get to fly off and leave. The sphinxes are there without wings to show you that you don't need anything to carry your masonry. What you've built up is your masonry. You can choose to fly whenever you want. You don't need the wings. You're together. They're harmonious. They're calm, and they're just waiting on your instruction to move forward. The wand is in your left hand, and you just flick it. You go. That's what's holding you back. Is just small or useless sacrifices to please the flesh. You know what I mean? And it's not about removing all of them. Obviously, we're here to have a balance of both, but not allowing it to prevent you from taking the steps to actual victory. Making sure you have actually enough before moving forward in that sense. Um, but I'll get you, Melissa. So what can Melissa kind of work on to be in like a stable state for the therapy session, the online therapy session? So first, Ten of Wands. Any sort of expectation, any form of, oh, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen. Be sure to drop it. Ten of Wands. Definitely figure out where all these kind of like worries or anxieties are coming from. It just might be energy that is being seen by the rational mind as worry and stress and things of that nature, when it's actually just getting you prepared and bumped in. So really just dropping all of those for moving forward is a big guideline for that. Don't walk in with any form of expectation, because that will mess with your rational mind. It will go against your rational mind's plan, and it will cause complications within yourself. But really just focusing on like you, not worrying about the client, not worrying about how long it's going to be or like how it's going to go, just worrying about you. What do you need to do to make sure that you're up to par for whatever client comes towards you? And then the Nine of Wands, that's going to remove this headache, that's going to remove this fear of like thinking that, oh, like I'm gonna get this client, they're gonna be off, or I'm gonna get this client and they're gonna be like off the walls, or something crazy is gonna happen. All these like thoughts that are coming up from this new experience. Even if you've done these online sessions multiple times before, it's about a new individual. It's about that, oh, it's someone new. How is it gonna be? The rational mind loves to delve into things like that. Which is fine, but it's not supposed to latch onto it and hold on to it so tightly. The soul, the heart space knows that the mind is just doing what it needs to do, but the heart also knows that everything is going to go well. It's just a matter of you not allowing the external to convert you or control you in certain ways, to make you act out. So really just doing your best to release your nerves. Work on like try work on I'm gonna say it this way because I don't really know a better way, but work on healing the nervous system. Um but yeah, Melissa, definitely work on like the the removal of just all these ideas of how things are supposed to play or how they might, tapping into the heart space and knowing that all will be well and like healing and relaxing that nervous system, um, is going to be a grand key. Overall, I would just keep the nerves down, especially with the 10 and the 9 of like both of the wands going in reverse like that. There's not a need to be tested in this sense. There's not like a need to go back to a step 4 or anything. There needs to be a moving forward, and this moving forward is going to like just require you to drop this weight, drop these questions, not beating yourself up by saying, oh, these questions are stupid and things of that nature, but by saying that even though these fears, are things that I am, worried about, or these thoughts that I'm thinking are things that deserve space and time. They don't deserve to control my narrative. So I give them the space to show themselves to me and I thank them, but I don't allow you to control how I feel because I already know that things are working out. I'm just gathering the energy, and the rational mind is so used to getting the source and getting the fuel and using it instantly. It wants to do things instantly. It's connected to matter and time. If it's not done now, it won't be done anytime later. And then, then you have procrastination, all these other things that the mind likes to worry about, right? But just focusing more on that self, and calming yourself down, so that you're not in a nervous state, or even when like even if you are in like a nervous state, it would be one of curiosity that's causing that nervousness rather than strictly like fear or anxiety or stress or things of that nature. Allowing that curiosity to remain innocent from that heart space and moving forward like that is the best way. But yeah. Oh, and welcome in, honestly. I was staring at I was staring at your message when you were saying hi. I was like, I can't respond to that just yet. But welcome in, welcome in. How we doing? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How you doing? Yeah. Don't cuz what's funny is like when we're taught about mental health, we're only taught about like the downside side effects, or like the halting side effects of things. OCD can be very, very beneficial because it can be used to straighten your mind out. Like this stress, this anxiety, this worry is actually not part of the plan that I'm following. This is something that doesn't need to be in this group that I'm working with, so it's going to go over here, and then I can focus on all the things I need to. So it can be a benefit. It's just about learning how to maneuver around it. Um, we're just not taught how to do it. We're taught like things to keep us held down. That's why when people say I, they use. Well, hold on. Let me get. I got a pen somewhere. I gotta have a marker or a pen somewhere. Hold on. I got one. All right. Well, that's why you have this as your eye. That's why your eye is literally capped off at the top and at the bottom. You're unable to expand either way they fucking capped you. They've made sure that you can't get above anywhere where you've made it, and anywhere below. You're stuck between this back and forth realm. And in between, of that, with you being stuck in between the realm, that's where you have your sine wave, your emotion of life, and that's the frequency you'd be bouncing back and forth from, That's why we use EYE, because we know that we're not capped off. We're not limited by this flesh. We are, the EYE, we the observer, me, myself, and I. Right? That's why it's EYE. And even EYE, if you were to take the word EYE and make it 3D and put it into a 2D space, it would equal that I right there. All they did is shift your perspective from a full perspective to a two-dimensional one. Knowing that we live in a 3D illusion, in a 2D world, all they did is remove that 3D illusion and put you back into the 2D. So what people think is the 3D is actually the 2D, because they haven't elevated past that point to see what's actually beyond. They've walked in a circle for too long. They're in the 2D. They've become the ant. They haven't elevated to that next level to see beyond what's actually being shown to them, which would be the 3D, which is seeing through the veil. 4D is seeing not only through the veil, but beyond it, what it holds inside the veil and around the veil, in that sense. And these are just not ways of seeing, and by seeing, it's again like mentality, being able to digest things, seeing deeper waves of you, seeing how you actually mirror out and ripple through everything that you come in contact, and even things that you don't come in contact with. The ebb and flow of life is all shown in that sense. But that I is capped off for a reason, and it's capital for a reason, because it has to rule something. It's cap. Capital. It's trying to keep you somewhere. It's trying to overrule you. It's making you know that you're the head, but you're disembodied at the end of the day, because you have this other thing called the lowercase I, which is just you, disembodied head. That's all it is. You just don't have your head. I didn't put the dot on top of it, unfortunately. But you just don't have your head connected, and that's what it is, And that's like the symbology behind all that. But we're capped off. Most people are capped off. But it's always best to be the EYE rather than the I, because you're not one, you're three, and two heads are better than one. So why would you limit yourself at one when you could be three, when you are three? You fought a lion last night? That's your rational mind. That is your head, and you were fighting your head, I don't know much about dragon fire protection. The only true protection that one needs is a mental psychic defense. That's all they need. If you can control your own psyche, which being psychic doesn't mean fucking anything what these people think it is. Psychic is just the mind. Being psychic means you know how to use your brain. That's it. It does not mean that you're an oracle or you see things that other people can't. That has nothing to do with it. It's psychic. You know how to use your brain. Psychology, psychosis, all with the mind, just about being able to use your brain. So, these people call themselves psychics, I look at them funny. People who call themselves mediums, I look at them funny too, because medium is just a subject of art. Like you have your mediums of art where it's just like, paint, music, draw like pencil and paper, dance. That's your mediums. So when you say you're a medium, what are you a medium of? What are you embodying? What is your label as medium in that sense? And if not that, why are you saying yourself as average? You know what I mean? So it's all these words that just people use them, and it's like why we do this? Why we do this in the English language? How the hell can medium mean both someone that speaks to the people who are dead, but also the size in between small and large? Like, what the fuck? Kinda, not really. I just enjoy wearing them. I'm gonna be real with you. The only one that I have on me that has any form of like spiritual recollection is the angel bracelet that I have. Every other one, I just have it because I genuinely enjoy it. crystals aren't really used in like the proper way. They're used in a they're not, they're used in a spiritual way rather than a metaphysical way, because if crystals were used in like a metaphysical way, the way that they were supposed to, we would have far much more development. Like we have crystals in our fucking phones and laptops, dude. And we're worried about crystals for like smaller things. We could genuinely just be creating all sorts of stuff by ourselves. We could create the power that our phone has, from just like a copper headband and a few crystals in like an antenna pointing out from like the third eye. We could literally just generate energy there, and you create your own fucking energy field that actually interacts with the room around you and causes, shakes within the field. But we don't do that. We're worried about the healing properties of these crystals, which, though spiritually can be a thing, metaphysically it's just it's a electro pulse like vibration that we're just attuning to and wearing on us. It doesn't have to like have any effect over us. But yeah, I don't know. We have so much really cool technology on Earth already, but we're focused on it in a different way. Well, everything is comes from spirit. There is nothing that can happen on this realm, you know, that doesn't come from the spirit. Um, so in that sense, channeling is spiritual. It is also mental, because it's depending on how you can receive it. And people who are not in the proper mental space to receive channelings or to deliver channelings will not do so in a good way. So it's not just one; it's both. You can't have one without the other. Not like, I don't know. I'm still alive, so I don't really know. Hmm. That's interesting. I have to like look into it then. Hmm. That's so weird. Yeah, I don't know. This channel's gonna get a lot of weird stuff happening to it. I just know it is. Like, especially after yesterday. Like, come on, man. They did not have to shut me down like that. That shit was so funny though. That was so funny. Yeah, that's the thing. People aren't looking at they're not looking at the entertain. They're just looking at it for entertainment, and then they get sucked into that loophole. They don't see it. They don't see the trap that they fall for. It's like, it's weird. It's just awful, man. And that's why so many people don't like believe in tarot, because fucking idiots don't know anything. It's unfortunate. So I don't know, man. How can you say you were a tarot card reader when you don't even know what the hell tarot is or what it stands for? Or you still use the number 11. I'm sorry, but you can't. You cannot be doing tarot readings if you still say 11 is a number, dude. Not only is that just not right because it's just two ones, it's not a new number, it's just the same number repeating, but it's also with numerology, you add up numbers. These like other numbers don't exist. They're just fucking westernized things that are made up that combine the meaning of the true numerology with a newer version, adding the first number in front of it. Which is why a lot of numerology messages say the same damn thing, and even though the numbers are different. Exactly, Ellie. Delusion is seeing only things you want to. Become de-illusioned is the game though. Welcome in, welcome in. How we doing? How we feeling? Uh, you got it, Hug. And of course, if I learn something, I'll make sure that I share it with people. It's what I want to do. So I always do my best to try and teach. Not a lot of people want to actually be taught, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. But the ones that do are appreciative, and the ones that don't are still appreciative because life. I got you, and thank you for stopping by, Nerd. Appreciate you for stopping by. It was truly a blessing. But Hug, your first card with your soul journey is the Queen of Wands. Right now, you need to pay attention to the thoughts that are nurturing you. Not the thoughts. Excuse me. It's the ones. There's ideas. Excuse me. Not the thoughts. The ideas that are nurturing you. Pay attention to the ideas that are protecting you as well, leading you to a place of feeling secure. Ideas that are showing you a path to walk on rather than showing you the dead ends of things. Paying attention to that with the Queen even being Aries as well. These are just ideas that are just coming up. So don't grab onto these ideas and hold tightly to them just yet. Allow them to unite. And with the two lions up there holding the sunflower, there's these two parts of you right now. The feminine and the masculine, the intuitive and the rational are holding you up right now to see the light. So right now you are the sunflower character. You're needing to see the light, and you are, but you're needing to get that nutrients from the light. Now you're needing to grow with that light and see where it's going to take you. So just allow these ideas to kind of fuel you, and any of the ideas that are causing like detriment or fear or anything of that nature, allow them to still pop up, but don't agree with them. Just allow them to be there as like a warning. But right now with the moon reverse, this is a very conscious thing. There's something in the subconscious that you're not paying attention to that you need to start seeing, and that's why all these ideas are coming up. That's why this might feel like you have a blockage or something. It's just because there's new ideas coming up and you need to take time for that deep introspection. There's a rebirth, there's a resurfacing of something that hasn't quite happened, and you haven't seen it just yet either. So you're really needing to work with yourself at this time to see what's all being shown to you, and kind of using that discernment moving forward. But right now for the soul path, it's just all about seeing the ideas that are nurturing you, and figuring out where or how they're coming to, other than just coming from the divine, but how are they going to motivate you to move forward? How these ideas related to things that you desire to do, whether from the heart or rational mind. Getting closer together with self in that nature is important for now, so you can fully see the true light of things and not be only seeing a half of it. I do my best not to be a gatekeeper. There are some things that I do conceal when talking to certain people because I know that it's not something that they can grasp or like that they would be able to resonate with because of their own like belief and upbringing. But regardless, I do my best to explain what I can in the best way that I can. And I try to talk about it in like multiple points too, or in different ways. I try my best to alchemize it so other people can digest it. Only two car jet. It's a 2-car pool. That's what we're doing. 2-car pools. If you need an extended reading, you can use my website or email me, and I'll send you over the information to book the full on reading. But whenever I do these lives, it's always 2-card pools. I am doing well, I'm doing well. How are you doing? I appreciate that Sixth Sense. Um, I'm always glad to see the lurkers pop in, the chime in a few times. It's always pleasant because I see y'all in there, y'all lurkers. Y'all don't say anything, and I'm always like, who's in here? Like I'm hoping everyone's doing well, and y'all might be responding out loud, but it's like, damn, like I know y'all in here. I love it though. I appreciate the support. I don't care if y'all type in the chat or not. Do what makes you feel comfy at home always. Of course, like but you can get another 2 reading if you need. Like the readings are slow. I'm not like packed up and back. So if you need like another 2 card, it's okay to ask. Oh yeah, and what would you want your 2 card on hot, and we can get that for a learning future for learning future. Not for future. Tarot cards aren't for future prediction, Carol. They're for helping you connect to the divine through what you have inside of yourself. In that sense, finding the other key inside of you to unlock your path to destiny. Um, I got you. I got you for the general. Also, I know some people don't join chat because back in the day when I had a bunch of trolls, I know a lot of people disabled chat on this channel because they could not handle it. I was like, it's completely fine. I get it. That's when I started getting mods and shit. And I got you. So right now, hot with love, career, and just all around general, we have the 5 of Wands first, Leo and Saturn. There is something that you're not allowing yourself to be organic with when it comes down to these paths. For you, hot solstice. So really pay attention to that. There may be obstacles on the physical realm that are making you submit to them rather than doing what you're desiring to do. Whether that's financial, whether that's physical appearance for things, whether that is just how you generally are digesting the reality around you. There is some sort of fighting within Saturn or within discipline within self that's keeping you from moving forward. And it has a lot to do with your 5 senses, the physical realm around you and how you're interacting with, matter and time mentally, or the realm around you. That's what we're talking about. So pay attention. Like if you feel like things are taking too long within things, or you feel rushed, kind of sit back and ask yourself, why am I feeling rushed in this sense? What part of my rational mind is causing this rushness to feel present? And not only that, but what what step did I mistake to allow this feeling to have so much control or to like be on reality in that sense? Like, you know what I mean? And doing so from an open space. Do it from a heart space, not the mind space. When we do shadow work, a lot of times we focus on the mind space. Focus on the heart space when you do shadow work, so you can get the pure answer. Though the mind can definitely help you get to the bottom of a rabbit hole, the heart space is going to show you exactly what you need, and the mind space will kind of take you down the routes of the memories and everything else that has. But yeah, the Knight of Cups. Move forward with more nurturing. with yourself and towards what you desire. Regardless if you're wanting to attract love or attract a better career or receive more love or receive more within your career, nurturing yourself with this career. If it's even if it's like asking for a raise, nurturing yourself, moving forward with that nurturing motion would be to not let the stress and anxiety of, oh, I don't know if I'm going to get a raise. I don't know if they're going to like want me asking them that question, or I don't know if I've worked here long enough to ask, but just doing so because it's something that you desire. And even if it's declined, you know, that doesn't mean it's the end. It's something that's now placed in that other person's mind. It's going to go off and do what it wants to do because you've now transferred yourself from that heart space outward. You've now moved on. Now it's the mental realm. Now it's time to think. Maybe they'll give you a raise later. Maybe they won't. Maybe, you know, you'll find something along the path that actually, you know, boosts up that monetary gain that you've been wanting. However, it's just about walking that path from that full heart space. Um, and I can get you. I can get you as well, Am, for your 2 card. I got you. That's the thing, man. I fucking love tarot, man. It's so weird. Like really, the more you look at the cards, even you don't even have to like study the symbology. Just the more you look at the cards, the more you can actually tell what's going on. I don't know. I don't know. Well, I fucking love rabbit holes like this, dude. Like I don't know, my whole like body, my whole spirit gets lit up when I do tarot. When I like study it or like it's I don't know. It's the golden brick road being like, yeah, you're there. Just keep doing it. Just keep walking. It just fills me. It's just a very beautiful feeling. And as well knowing that other people want it too. Cause like everyone wants to know the truth for things, but it's seeing like not only like people who aren't in the readings, but people who are like also do readings, like kind of just digesting this information. Even if you don't fully take it and want to agree with it, it's still giving you like a new perspective, a better message to give people. In that sense, if you want to see it in that way. However, it's just so beautiful because it's just I don't know. My brain. I gotta get the AMS reading before I go off track. Anyway, Am, your first card is the Five of Cups reverse. Again, doing it to 5 senses. 5 of Cups is Cancer with the moon. There's something within, also with the 5 of Cups, it has a lot to do with regret. But there's something that you shouldn't be regretful of, or there might be a situation that's calling for you to look back at the 2 of Cups. And with the 2 of Cups, that's just talking about the engagement of feeling, where you're first going to your feelings. So if you are having feelings of like stress, regret, kind of look back and see where that, again, where that's rooting from, because there's not a need to feel that. With the 5 of Cups upright, that would indicate that you fell for a distraction and you can still walk back to get the 2 of Cups. But this in reverse, there's not a distraction and you're able to still walk down that path of togetherness with the heart space to complete whatever journey you're on. So don't so like really kind of check yourself with that. If you are feeling of that, there shouldn't be any feelings of that because you didn't fall for a distraction. Things just act weird on the physical just as it is. So don't allow the physical to kind of like determine how you're gonna feel. Just know that right now you are on the right path. Any feelings of like regret or guilt don't need to be like embodied too much. Like allow them to pop up and express themselves, but don't let them have that full control of the mind. And then we have the 4 of Pentacles with matter and time. Again, things are becoming, allow what you have right now to nurture you. Things that you have on the physical to supply you with the nurturing, with the comfort, with the love that you're needing to. Whether that's taking a nap because you got a bed, or taking a shower because you have a shower. However, just allowing the tools and resources that you have on the physical to nurture you. Be careful of also holding on too tight to certain things that are making you feel like you are being distracted as well, because that will also kind of help alleviate any sort of like doubt, coming from the solar plexus or from the mind or however. Well, solar plexus and sacral really. But whatever path you're on, you're able to walk forward. You just need to hold a stable mentality. It's all about being stabilized. The things that you have around you are working for you. You're just needing to see things from a more like a higher view. You're already building like what you're desiring up. It's just a matter of time. You may be feeling a lot of the energy of how things are moving and how things are building, which is might be digested wrong and feeling, you know, off and weird. But allowing yourself to go through this transition is definitely a key point right now for you. Just again, like with even the purple being on top of the red, the purple being royalty, being the higher senses, you know that there's something greater with with your higher senses. But there's the red there that's over top of it, that rational mind. So really, you know, even doing third eye work could help you with that too. You know, but seeing through that illusion that the rational mind's giving you of feeling like you're wasting time or things of that nature. The solar plexus is the one at your belly button. The sacral is the one at your reproductive organs, and the solar plexus is like in your belly button. Not in your belly button, but it's around that area. But it's also the center of life, the phoenixing. When you go, it's the last of the lower chakras, so it's the phoenix birth from the from the sacral. I mean, from the solar plexus to the heart. And a lot of people use medicines on the belly button to alleviate like issues and things because the solar plexus is already there. Solar plexus is for life. It is a life source. It is the fire within you. It's the sun. That's why it's called the solar. It's the sun power. It's your solar power. It's really, some people say it's the birthplace of your soul. But it's that light that radiates outside of you. It's your passions. It's your glow. Your, you know, if you want to say even your aura in that sense. But it governs, it kind of governs the same as the solar in the sense of like creativity and passion and, you know, believing that your crafts are able to be made. I can't remember the word for that. And the root chakra is at the base of the spine. Root chakra is like your stability, your income, your finances. But the three lower chakras are like your physical world roots. So you have your root chakra, which ties you to like stability, finances. Your your sacral, it ties you to pleasures of the world, and then your solar plexus that ties you to like not necessarily your identity in like an egoic way, but the light that you shine. Think your sun sign if you want to have an example for that in a sense. But it's how you shine out in the world. It's your vibrancy, it's your power, your energy source. And those three are all kind of determined for that, because after you break from those lower chakras, you go to your heart, where you start operating more with the divine. You go with your throat, that helps with authenticity and communication, not only just in the physical, like, you know, outside, but also helping you talk to yourself and be more authentic with yourself. And then, you know, up to your third eye to help you see through the illusions of things, of why you might have had blockages in the past, and the crown giving you the connection to the divine to like actually, you know, channel and be a vessel for high divine beings rather than just any old entity that just kind of squaggles around over here. Because that's why some like psychopomps, also like known as mediums, have issues with like controlling who they like channel, who comes to them, because their crown chakra is not aligned. They're just attracting like all sorts of fucking spirits to them, and they're not controlling themselves and saying, I don't want to talk to you right now, I can't do this right now, I need to just reset my energy. And they end up being a slave to the dead, which is not good. And then that's when all sorts of possessions and shit can happen, and yada yada. We know how it goes. We know how possessions work. We've seen The Exorcist. You know what I mean? But yeah. But yeah, if you want to know more about the chakras as well, they're called the Arat system on the channel, because I talk about it from like the Egyptian point of view. But it's the same thing. It's the same thing as the Sanskrit wheel. That's all it is, right? But I have a playlist talking about the chakras and stuff. Even like a video that doesn't go extremely into depth, but explains how the chakras are kind of like connected and how you get the responses that you do, and how chakras having issues will block other chakras. Like if your heart chakra is having issues, your third chakra, your third eye chakra is completely broke down and not able to work. It's put in shock, because your heart is what allows your third eye to like see what the divine has. You need your third eye active to see what the divine has in the heart space, because your mind can't enter there. But I can link the playlist. I'm pretty sure I can. Uh, Here, I. What do you mean I can't? What do you mean? How do I share this? That shuffle. I I don't know if this is gonna link the whole thing or not. It may or may not. I'm not too sure. But I got you, Lucid. I'll get you 2 cards. But that should be the playlist for the Arat system or the chakra system. But like I even have it like what they are um after the fact. Like I have crown chakra after Kimi Aratus and the RT Aratus and the third eye. I have them all there. Uh your third eye can't really necessarily be calcified. That is some form of like westernized belief that needs to like be dropped. Nothing on the physical can block anything on the spiritual. If your third eye is calcified, it's because you're not seeing something without it inside of yourself that's blocking it. You know, fluoride doesn't block your third eye or calcify your third eye. Nothing on the physical can harm anything on the spiritual because it came from the spiritual first. It can't do any harm to itself. That's impossible. It's a thing that many people aren't aware of because people don't know what pineal means. Pineal is the pine cone. Pineal gland is a pine cone. It doesn't look like a pine cone. It looks like a grain of rice. It operates like a pine cone. When a pine cone is put into water, it expands. When it is not in water, it collapses in. And what you want to do is expand your third eye. You want to open it. You don't want to decalcify it. You want it to birth. And how you do that with water, wisdom, mother, by learning, by getting new skills, by working with your brain. That's how you unlock and decalcify your third eye, so to speak. It's not about, listening to certain frequencies. It's about actually getting wisdom and knowledge. The illusion of a third eye being uncalcified, unblocked can definitely happen because your rational mind will see a title say third eye unblocker and then assume that because they listen to it, it's completely unblocked forever, but that needs to continuously be worked on. And that's also like westernized magic uh, issue as well, because a lot of westernized practices believe that you can do magic once and it just works, when that's not at all how it is. It's a continuous like thing that you have to be aware of. No, the pineal gland can only be open or not, nurtured or unnurtured. It can't really be calcified. If you're gonna talk about things being calcified, it's like turning things into stone. It's like Medusa's glare, if you want to think of it in that sense. So an unused pineal gland can definitely become calcified over time, but it's more of a mummification or it being petrified than calcified in that sense. It's like it's unable to move because it hasn't received any nourishment. But that doesn't mean that it can't be like solved. It's just about learning deeper truths. The spiritual journey is all about nourishing the soul, not the flesh. So if you're going to open anything within the body, you have to first go through the heart to the soul, through the divine, to get those keys. Well, to get the second key, which is really the first key that you need, because your rational mind already has the other. It can already do all the stuff it needs. It just needs the fuel and the divine support and nourishment to really move forward. But definitely, like, if you're gonna listen to any third eye like meditation or tone, listen to Om, and it's for a reason. It's to call you back home, right? Your third eye is also like your antenna. That's what a lot of spiritual people call it, and it's your antenna to go back home. It gives you connection back home to spirit, right? So that's what you're working with. Is you listen to the frequency of Om and do those meditations. Um, and work with nurturing that pineal gland. You know, using actual water and oils to help, you know, soothen that area up. Even doing the whole illusion of laying like on your back with the water bottle. This one's empty, but keep it like a third full and put it on your forehead and let it sit there and imagine that a drip of water is going through your forehead down to your pineal gland and you know, giving it that nourishment as well. Doing things like that can help as well. But really, it's all about actually learning. You know, getting that spiritual true wisdom. Um, and you know that just depends on however whatever path of life you're walking is whatever you need to be get wisdom on. It doesn't need to be a specific thing, right? You can unblock your uncalcify and really awaken your third eye by studying music theory if you're trying to make music, and then boom, now you all of a sudden can just instantly start getting shit. Why do you think jazz pianists and all sorts of pianists can just play shit without even music in front of them, without any having a plan? They just improvise. Their third eye is open. Well, not open, but it's activated. It's able to move around and through the realms and see like, oh shit, let's just do this. We're doing these things now. Let's go here. Let's go there. Your intuition's fully working. But your third eye will never be fully opened, because if your third eye was 1000% like fully truly open, you wouldn't be in this physical flesh. You would leave. You wouldn't be here. You'd be out. You would either form into whatever being you were supposed to, or you just fucking zip out and not be here. Your flesh wouldn't need, you wouldn't need your flesh anymore, because you would fully see the whole spectrum of truth, and you wouldn't need to live anymore. You would have all things, all wisdom, and not need to adventure or to search. You would have all within, and you would just dip back out, go right back to mother, until you decide to come back, until you decide that there's more that needs to be taught or more that needs to be learned. Either way, well, both ways. Uh, did I get your reading yet, Lucid? This is why I gotta stop talking. I literally forgot. Did I? I hope I did. If I didn't, I apologize. I'll hop on it. I got deep in that one. My bad. Okay, did I get it or not? I don't know if I got it. Like, I genuinely do not remember. Not yet. Okay. Let me get you real quick, Lucid. That happened. I usually stop myself. This time I didn't. This time I went on. I said, "Fuck it." And yeah, Carol, you can get a 2 card pull, for sure. What do you need? What are you looking for it on? I'm moving around too. It's just how it be. We bouncing around. You wanted general, okay. Just want to make sure you wanted general. I got you. General, got you, Carol. I'll get you after Lucid. And we will move forward with this. So, right now, Lucid, with you have your first card is the Knight of Cups. There's something that you're moving forward with that does not have the right fuel, or the right feeling attuned to it. You may be moving forward out of a feeling that isn't pure, or a feeling that wasn't sent from the divine, a feeling that was created by the rational mind. Or this could, depending on how this is, because it's general, this could go even as saying like there is a need to nurture your mind. There needs to be more of like a mind expansion. There could be like a drought within things, or a lack of knowing what to do because you actually haven't, nourished your mind. Maybe you've been blocking out thoughts that your mind is trying to show you, and because it hasn't received that nourishment, it hasn't been able to move forward in that sense, keeping you kind of stuck back too. regardless, whichever one this is, there is some form of movement with feeling that isn't correct because it's being pushed forward by something on the outside rather than the internal. With the King of Pentacles, the this the reality around you is stable. You with the king, it's showing you have rulership of it. So this could just be confusion of how to rule a cycle. You might have already made it past, because with the king out, you've already made it past the queen and the page. Even if you haven't noticed with things on the physical moving in that sense. But whatever you have on the physical is solid and able to keep you moving. It's just you need to keep moving with it. Maybe there's ideas that you have that you haven't been nourishing with it. Maybe there's, old projects or held back or old energy that needs to be either cleared out or released from certain projects or certain, people, places, things, however, right? That need to be released for you to see that more. But regardless, when with things moving on the physical, how they are built up, they are kind of built off of like shaky foundation from moving, with the Knight of Cups reversed into the Swords. So this lack of solid mindset definitely is coming from that lack of attunement there. Just learning how to speak fish is a good goal for you. And by that, I just mean learn how to, connect to that heart space, but also allow your rational mind to see what's going on within that heart space. Though it's, because when we start to learn how to work with the heart space, we get in this zone of only working with the heart space. We don't end up working with the rational mind anymore because we see like how it can hinder us. But the rational mind helps us because it keeps us safe. Though we can feel very loved and nurtured, being within the spiritual realm, or on the physical, where even though fear is an illusion, danger still exists. And that's what the rational mind is made off for. He needs to warn you, hey, this is a danger that's happening. This is the danger that can happen. This is something that can move on. So just being, you might even need to talk to yourself in the sense of being aware of like, oh, I know all these things around me could happen and could go wrong, but let's focus on things that I can do right now to push things forward. Let's generate those ideas, and that's kind of controlling the rational mind with the divine by seeing the other side of it. But regardless, whatever you have on the physical right now is working. If you've been concerned about that, there's just a feeling that's feeling certain thoughts that isn't from the divine. It's not really nurturing or helping things grow on the physical or move forward. But right now is definitely just a time to get into like a relaxed position, know that things are stable, still keep putting work into things, but don't be like heavy focused on it. It's not something that needs all your effort. It's able to move a little bit on its own. With the night not coming out, things aren't ready to be set into a new plan. So allow yourself to kind of have new plans as well in that sense. I would like to say that as well, because it's like, just especially with how the king came out after that, with the knight being there, since the Knight of Pentacles wasn't out, like, it's not time to move forward just yet, but definitely take time to rest, to plan, and to see the stability in things around you now, so that the worry of those things won't follow you around. Shadow work, clean the shadow up so things don't follow you that you don't need. And I will get your general reading right now, Carol. So, Carol, your first card is the Ten of Swords. So Ten of Swords, there's something within the thought forms that has sabotaged you, has allowed something to seem as like a failure or not worthy or not good enough, or making you feel stuck, halted, however, that needs to be examined. With it being there, with it being a 10 card, you have two decisions. You can move forward with the mindset that you have now, or you can go back to square four, which is the Four of Wands, and see like what ideas went wrong, or what ideas were generated from what when you were engaged with yourself, what the divine gave you and what your rational mind gave you, in that sense. But there is a bit of mind discombobulation when it comes to thoughts, feeling overburdened by thoughts. These thoughts could even just be opinions that other people have thrown at you, for how you should do things or how things should be around you, that have caused a lot of stress and anguish within like your own self, making you feel like you are less than, or making you feel like almost like a sense of imposter syndrome of not being who you are. So spend time like really cultivating like a new plan. Whether that plan again is to move forward or move back. It doesn't necessarily mean moving forward or back on the physical either, but there's like a disconnect within self right now. And with the Lovers reverse, that kind of does also clarify that as well. There is this disconnect. The planning that was created wasn't made from like a pure source. It was made from like a source of panic. So with the lovers card, being the numerology of six, and six meaning the spiritual world, interacting. Hold on, excuse me. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to get money so I can like actually get stuff going for that because I don't have the funds or anything for that right now. Yeah, and like I no, Ben, yeah, I completely understand. Don't even worry about that. I completely understand with that. Right now, I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Right now though, I'm ending the stream. I did get a few donations, so I'll be down there to get this stuff figured out. I've just been live for a while. Is all. My apologies on that behalf. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. It's good to keep up to date like this. Anyway, we're back. We're back. We're back. We're doing things behind the scenes over here. But regardless of the lovers, there is a part of you that just isn't fully connected. And that part being the rational mind. Just seeing the purity of a situation, always remembering that the rational mind is going to focus on the aspect of like danger and things going awry, and the heart space being completely focused on the opposite of that, being of love, of togetherness, of things being the way they need to be, in perfect, not needing anything more, not needing anything less. So, and that's the balance of you. That's why you're in the middle. That's you with the wings. That's why you have the wings. You're higher, you're above, you're in the clouds. You are above both the masculine and feminine elements. You see how they both work. You see how they both can, interact with each other. In reverse, you don't quite have that wings. The third eye is a huge signifying point for this to, help with your third eye, in that sense. But right now, heavily focus on what causes you to disconnect. Is it a fear of like something going bad? Is it a lack of trust in other people, or a lack of trust in yourself? However this is, get in tune with that heart space as much as you can, and like, so you can be honest with yourself, because the rational mind, you can be honest with yourself. With the rational mind, it has this thing where like, um it will go back and forth though. It will go 1 second. I'll be like, yeah, I see what you're talking about with this, but do you remember this and all these other things that happen? And it takes you off that course slowly. The heart space won't do that. So when you fully get the message from that heart space, then you can bring it to the rational mind, because it will then have the other piece to that puzzle. Even though someone else did that, there was a whole event that surrounded that, to occur, leaving both parties, both at blame, not to each other, but to themselves, in that sense, making you being the problem in your movement forward, and the other person being the problem in their movement forward. But it's just both of your energies coming together that kind of like bounce off those ideas from each other. But that is your reading, Carol, for that. But yeah, I am gonna have to get off live and get this room payment set up and sent through. Regardless though, the email is there. If you want to email me for readings or just talking or anything of that nature, questions, um, if you need 2 card pulls, feel free to email me. It might take me a while to get around to those for sure. But I don't mind to do those things if need be. But the PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Chime's all there. The website's there for services. You can also email me for other services. I have way more than the site has on there. I just can't put them all up there right now. Regardless, I love each and every one of y'all to the moon and back tenfold and forever. Thank you for all the questions, the proverbations, the love, the likes, comments, shares, the donations that we did receive, and everything of that nature, because it truly does mean the world to me, and it does help keep everything up and running over here. And I just love being home. I just love being with here with you all. But regardless, I will see you all later, whenever later will be. I'm gonna try and get some other videos out as well. But I love you all so much to the moon and back tenfold and forever, and I will see.